apologize for not being able to get you our pregame interview with Taylor head coach Josh Andrews, but he said the big story coming into this was James McLeod, the 6'4" sophomore from Lawrence, Indiana. He had a lower body injury in the second half in Taylor's loss Wednesday at Indiana Wesleyan. That let Kyle Mangus go off, but James is out there today. He's going to give it a go here after coming back and playing in the second half on Wednesday. He was limited in practice this week. We'll see what James has got in the tank today. Against number 5, Mount Vernon Nazarene, it'll be Jones. And we are underway here from Odell Arena. Vipperman tapped the ball to Hagelin, and the Trojans will start with the ball first. They go from left to right. They have their normal starting 5, the guards of Ryan Robinson and Mason Degenkolb. Your front court players, the aforementioned James McLeod, Jason Hubbard, and Jake Hagelin. Hubbard to Hagelin, right block against the smaller Vipperman. Crab dribble, left block, fakes to his left, goes to his right. Vipperman blocked the shot. Hagelin got it back, re-engages, tried to go up and under, could not. Kicks out to McLeod with 5 to shoot. Guarding is Roberts, is Degenkolb with 2, throws up a prayer off the glass, and he banks it in. Mason had to get that one off quick, and he banks it home. Jevin Knox, the leading scorer for Mount Vernon Nazarene. He's out there with Jacob Paul, Austin Jones, Brett Vipperman, and Jeremiah Roberts for the visiting Cougars. Faking along to his Jones, the lefty drives and floats one in to tie our game at 2 apiece. Mount Vernon Nazarene in the road, blue unis and blue shorts with blue numbers trimmed in white. The Trojans in the home whites with purple numbers and purple letters trimmed in gold. Roberts defends Degenkolb, knocked away by Jones. Mason got it back. Vipperman defends Hagelin, baseline right. To the cutting into the paint, knocked away by Knox as Hagelin tried to thread it through to Jason Hubbard. Taylor saw their 6-game winning streak snapped on Wednesday at Indiana Wesleyan, where they fell 79-72. Mount Vernon Nazarene lost 90-85 in double OT as Robinson will bounce it into Hagelin for Jake's first 2, and the Trojans back in front 4-2. When these two teams met on this floor last year, it was the Ryan Robinson show in the second half. He tied a Taylor single-game mark of 9 made threes. He went 8 for 8 in the second half. For the first 30-point performance, he dropped 36 against MVNU. Knox pulls up, and the red-headed sophomore buries a free throw line jumper. So both teams have started hot from the floor. Taylor 2 of 3, and Mount Vernon Nazarene 2 of 2. And we're tied at 4, almost 2 minutes into the opening half. Robinson, right side, Hagelin screen takes. Now Degenkolb gives it back to Robinson. He's guarded by Jacob Paul. Near sideline as Knox will guard Hubbard. Left-hand drive, stops outside the arc, the ball goes. The MVNU bench stands and claps their defense on across from us. And now Jones will guard Robinson on the mismatch. Ryan down the lane, right-hand scoop, and it will go and rattle home. 3 different scores for the Trojans, and they've scored on their first 3 possessions as Robinson dove on the floor and almost poked the ball away from Paul. Vipperman near sideline. McLeod defends him. Up top, Roberts thought about a 3. And now Knox will be guarded by Hubbard. Right sideline, Paul, left-hand dribble with tape on that left wrist with Robinson defending him. To the block, and Jones banging against Hagelin. Goes in, left-hand shot hit the rim. Jones got it, and then Jake fouled him on the forearm. First one on Jake. And that'll put Jones to the line for 2. First on Hagelin, first against Taylor. Austin Jones, 6'7", 205-pound junior from Cincinnati. He is a pogo stick in a blue jersey and blue shorts. But he has struggled from the line this season as Odell Arena gets eerily quiet. And his 61% free throw shooter makes the first one. Vincent Miranda quickly in for the Trojans, replacing Degenkolb. And Mason will pay a visit to the end of the bench and head athletic trainer K.C. Hackman. Jones made the first freebie. Let's take a look at the left side. It looks like in the left chest of Degenkolb. The lefty Jones made the first free throw. Good looking stroke there for Jones, who, as we mentioned, comes in shooting 61%. He's got 4 of the first 6 for Mount Vernon Nazarene, and we're dead even at 6 as both teams have scored on all 3 possessions here to start the game off. Quick touch passing from the Trojans. Hagelin holds right side circle, near side arc Miranda. Right side dribble, cut off at the baseline right by Paul. Left-hand dribble to the top. Far side hash mark Robinson. Here's Hubbard driving on Knox. He goes in for a right-hand layup that'll just catch the rim and rolls off. Rebounded by Paul as MVNU looks for their first lead of the day. Pitch out, going in. Colliding was Jones with Hagelin as he thought about a 3. Knox, guarded by Hubbard, out to Roberts. Slips on a 3 try. He'll back down the smaller Miranda and laid in with a right hand. First scoring for Jeremiah Roberts, and that gives number 5 Mount Vernon Nazarene a 2-point lead at 8-6 with 16:49 left to go in the first half. Hagelin from straight away. Jones giving him plenty of space. Far sideline, Robinson with Roberts guarding him. MVNU opens up in the man-to-man. This is the way they've been since the opening tip. Baseline right, Hegelin. He'll back down Jones. Got into the paint. Pivots, goes up and under around Jones, and Hegelin banks it in off the glass. Second field goal for Jake. He's got 4 in our game, dead even at 8. Now Hubbard steals, and he just stepped on the far sideline as Oda Lorena was ready to watch another highlight reel dunk from Jason Hubbard. Instead, he just steps on the far sideline, and Mount Vernon Nazarene will retain possession. Austin Jones exits. Jordy Mas, the 5th-year senior from Barcelona, Spain, the 7-foot Spaniard, comes in. Suffered a gruesome knee injury a couple of years ago. That's why he's got the knee brace on his right knee. Good to see Mas back out there. He can play both inside and outside for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Paul to the right block, and Mas. No-look dish to Paul. Was a little bit away from him. Now they get to Knox in the corner. Goes up, circus layup, down low to Mas for a punny layup that he misses. Then he misses the putback, and Hubbard cleans it up with a right hand. Mas, the 7-footer, 2 point-blank looks. The first one he could have dunked, he did not, and then the second one he banked off too hard. Hegelin pulls him out, and rainbow 15-footer. 6 points for Jake Hegelin, 2 off of as many as he scored Wednesday at Indiana Wesleyan. That gives Taylor a 2-point lead back at 10-8. Knox, an answering 3 from the left wing, is perfect. 3 ball from Knox, he's got 5, and that gives MVNU the lead back at 11-10. The Cougars come in shooting 42% from three-point range, and Knox, one of the best three-point shooters in the league, at 48%. Miranda between the circles is now Degan Kolb, comes out of the training room, driving Robinson, stops Scott Roberts to blow by, and then Robinson banks it in. 4 for Ryan, and we go back and forth. The team's trading leads. Roberts drives against Hubbard, who altered the shot, and it dances off, and Miranda has the rebound for Taylor. Near sideline, Robinson crossing over to his right hand on Paul, whipping it into the paint behind Hegelin, intercepted by Roberts, and he's got a 2-on-2. Against the shorter Miranda, Roberts pitches back to the trailing Paul. No one down low, and Vipperman lays it in as nobody covered him for the Trojans. First points for Brett Vipperman, and that forces a Taylor 30-second timeout. With Mount Vernon Nazarene, the 5th-ranked team in the country, leading Taylor by 1, 13-12, with 14:52 remaining here in the opening half. Evan Crow comes on for the first time for Taylor, along with C.J. Pena, who had a career-high 14 points in Taylor's loss at Indiana Wesleyan on Wednesday. Robinson and Miranda remain out there for Taylor. Robinson tried to weave through defenders. He lost it. Stolen by Isaac White, a newcomer in for MVNU. Up the floor, Roberts, who then got lazy with the dribble. He dribbles it off of his ankle, and it goes out of bounds at the end of the Taylor bench. And that brings us to a media timeout. 14:37 remaining in half number 1. It's number 5 Mount Vernon Nazarene, 13. And Taylor 12 here on the Trojan Sports Network. Kolb remains situated on the Taylor bench after taking a quick trip to the training room, athletic training room. Taylor almost threw it away, and Pena will deal it out. Roberts singling Robinson out on an island, so Mount Vernon Nazarene willing to play 4-on-4 here. Miranda drives down the lane, was pushed in the air, and he banked it in as Miranda goes gliding down the right side of the lane. First bucket for Miranda, and that puts Taylor back in front. First one on Eric McLaughlin. That's not right. McLaughlin's not out there. It's Isaac White. And Miranda will get the home front rim and went in. 2-point Taylor lead ties their largest of the afternoon. They're up 15-13. Vipperman, Moss, Knox, White. Off-ball foul against Mount Vernon Nazarene on a moving screen against Isaac White, and that's his second. No, it's not on him, excuse me. It's again against, they said 23. There is no 23 on the floor right now. If it's on 22. No, they're going to say 23 on Taylor. So they pointed the wrong way. First on Miranda. So it is on Isaac White, the other one. Second foul against Taylor here in the half, and the first one against Miranda. 14:07 remaining in the first half. Vipperman will give off to the near sideline, and Roberts. A low pass that White's able to gather back in. Pena switches on a screen. Now Robinson attacks him. Vipperman between the circles, guarded by Crow. High left side to Roberts. Hubbard defending. Up top, denied a look at three. White off balance fadeaway three is good from straight on. First bucket for Isaac White. He's a 45% three shooter. And just like that, with one flick of the wrist, Mount Vernon Nazarene regains a lead. They're up by one, 16-15. Robinson to the near side of the floor. Miranda, hand off to Hubbard, then quickly to the top of the circles. And Robinson drives back up top. Pena catches over Massa, three ball short. And it hits the floor and rebounded by Isaac White. First shot from the floor from Pena. Here comes MVNU the other way, the fifth-ranked team in the country. And transition three, White, no good. And Hubbard skies over everybody for the rebound. That's the first miss from three-point range for Mount Vernon Nazarene. The Pena three-point try was the first shot taken overall from behind the arc by Taylor. Moss with Pena the ball. Miranda hesitates, maneuvers to the baseline right, cut off, tiptoeing the baseline, fades it back up top to Crow. 13 to shoot, Vipperman guards him. Back out near the timeline, Robinson with 8 to shoot. High middle screen, Pena. Robinson hesitates, three defenders converge with 4 to shoot. Now crossing over to his right, fade away, right sideline, three ball is an air ball that'll fall out of bounds. Ryan did everything there to get open, just could not get a clean look at the rim. He'll go to the bench and get his first breather of the night, or the afternoon. Mason Degenkolb back in for Taylor. Starting point guard Jacob Paul returns for MVNU. He replaces Isaac White. He walks a little bit gingerly to the water cooler at the end of the bench, but he looks to be okay. Paul will run the point. He's out there with Moss. Roberts, who almost had the ball taken away. He goes in for an easy layup. Roberts almost had it taken away by Hubbard on the pass, and then no one could come and cut him off on a pretty easy look at the rim. 18-15 the MVNU lead, their first three-point lead of the afternoon. 12:25 remaining in the first half. Miranda left sideline around the Pena screen. Passing to the near side of the floor in Degenkolb, but then off to Hubbard. Trying to go baseline right on Knox, stops, tiptoes the baseline, out to the near side arc in Pena. The shorter Paul defends him, CJ dribbles, cross court to Crow, fakes a three, goes down the lane through contact. Knox had his hands on it, but they're going to call a foul on Jevin Knox, and that is a bad, it looked like Knox had all ball there, but he must have gotten part of the fingertips of Evan Crow. First one on Knox, second one against Mount Vernon Nazarene here in the half. And that'll put Evan Crow to the line for two. His role really big today with the uncertainty around James McLeod after the lower body injury on Wednesday. Evan makes the first free throw. A great free throw shooter at 85%. Hubbard out, Hageland back in for Taylor. After a quick breather, Isaac White returns for Mount Vernon Nazarene, replacing the very springy Jeremiah Roberts. This free throw from Crow can make it a 1-point deficit, and he swishes it. 2 points for Evan, both from the line, and Taylor down by one, 18-17. We play just about 8 minutes here in this opening half. MVNU from right to left in blue. Taylor defends man-to-man in white. Paul between the circles around a Moss screen with Degenkolb trailing. Down low to Moss against the smaller Hagelin. Backing in, Crow tried to pick it away to the corner and White. He's got one through this afternoon, and now he's got two, as that one swished from the near side corner. Third three ball for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Taylor has yet to hit a long-range shot, and they trail now. The Trojans do by a game-high 4, 21-17. Hagelin, one dribble handoff. Crow. Knox guards him to the corner, and Pena. Against the very long Austin Jones. Pena got caught almost. Right corner, 2. Hagelin, perfect again. Jake, 4 of 5 from the floor to start. He's got 8 of Taylor's first 19, and Taylor back to within a deuce. Moving screen, no, a travel against Isaac White of MVNU. And here comes Brett Vipperman, the senior wing, back in to replace Moss. Crow or Pena out. CJ out, Robinson back in. So let's reset the Taylor line. Miranda, Degenkolb, and Robinson. The forwards, Hegeland and Crow. For Taylor, for Mount Vernon Nazarene, Vipperman, Jones, Knox, Paul, and White. Taylor shooting on the basket to our right. Off-ball foul called against Evan Crow on a moving screen that he disagrees with. First on Evan, third against Taylor in the half. Roberts quickly back in for MVNU, replacing Jevin Knox. Fifth-year head coach Jared Ronay, a quick substitution hook here in this opening half. He is moving guys in and out at a rapid pace here, particularly over the last few moments. Taylor head coach Josh Andrews barking for an explanation across from us on the moving screen by Crow. Jones, mid-post right, trying to bully in against Hagelin. Storms in with a big move and hooks it in with the left hand. 6 for Jones. He's tied with White for team-high honors. And Taylor back down by 4, 23-19 to the 5th-ranked team in the land. 10:40 left to go here in half one. Taylor shooting on the goal to our right there in White. High middle screen, Hagelin. Degenkolb takes with Jones now guarding him on a switch. Stopping and starting is Degenkolb. Mid-post right into the paint. Looking for help, but jump stop and all the way back out near the timeline. The pass goes to Robinson. 6 to shoot. Contested 3 from straight away is off the right side of the rim as Robinson starts 0 of 2 from three-point range. Taylor 0 of 3 from deep as a team. MVNU with the ball, leading by a game-high 4. Down the lane goes Paul. His shot might have been blocked, but then trailing the play is Jones for a putback slam. Hagelin went for the block. He might have gotten a piece of it, and then Jones followed up and dunked it home with 2 hands. Taylor down by a game-high 6 at 25-19, just past the halfway point of the opening half. Good defense by Roberts to cut off Degenkolb, circles in the paint. Miranda, catch and shoot, straight on 3 is off target right. Hagelin gets it back to the weak side, and Crow, whose left-hand layup is good through contact. First bucket for Crow, he's got 4. That gives the Taylor baseball guys a little something to cheer about down below us, and Taylor draws back to within 4. Roberts to the cutting White down low, fadeaway bank shot, dances off, tapped away. Miranda will slice in and get the ball away from Austin Jones. Taylor an opportunity to cut into the deficit more. Miranda thought about going end-to-end, bounces outside to Robinson, who directs traffic with his right hand. He'll go mid-post right to Hagelin against Jones, who flops, and it's a block against Austin Jones. He was leaning back right before Hagelin banged into him on the right block. The first one on Jones and the third one against Mount Vernon Nazarene, as we have a slew of subs coming in from both teams. It'll be Taylor ball. Exiting for the Trojans will be Miranda, Crow, and Hagelin. Coming back in for TU, McLeod, Pena, and Hubbard. White and Jones will exit for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Alex Johnson in for the first, and Jevin Knox returns for MVNU as well. Taylor with the ball, down 4. As Paul guards Robinson up top. Jab step, 3 ball on the way. That one short off the front rim. Ryan was 2 of 3 on Wednesday at Indiana Wesleyan. He's 0 of 3 to start here this afternoon. Paul far sideline. Degenkolb trails after the screen. Knox fakes to his right and goes to his left. Around the arc, the ball is spun by MVNU. They have the ball and they lead by 4. Knox fakes Hubbard in, goes in for a circus layup that just missed the rim. And then Knox gets called for a reach-in foul as Degenkolb held the ball on his right hip. And then Knox got greedy and tried to poke it away and got more arm than ball. Ooh, that's a good one there for MVNU. It looked like Knox was going to be the guilty party as he was the one that came in to reach the ball away from Degenkolb. Instead, they called on Alex Johnson, so Knox can stay on the floor with only 1 personal foul. Taylor with the ball, still down by 4. Far sideline to Degenkolb, guarded by Roberts. Fakes to his left, and Roberts tripped him. First one on Roberts, 5th one against Mount Vernon Nazarene here at half 1. The Cougars committed 25 fouls in their double overtime loss to Spring Arbor on Tuesday at home. SAU went to the line 29 times in that 90-85 double overtime win, and they made 25 of them. Shot clock to 20. Robinson will float it up top to Pena. Guarded by Johnson, handoff to Robinson, still looking For his first three, he'll deal it off outside the arc. Degenkolb around the Pena screen. Johnson switches to him. Down the left side of the lane. Jump stop, spin, bank shot. Degenkolb too strong. Pena got it, fades away, and gets the roll. First bucket for C.J. Pena, and Taylor back to within two, trailing 25-23 on Pena's first bucket of the afternoon. Vipperman near sideline. McLeod guards him. Johnson a quick pass to Paul. Now Pena defends. Paul the point guard to Vipperman near sideline. Taylor in the man-to-man as we approach 8 minutes to go in the opening half. Knox guarded by Hubbard, wants to go ISO. Cutting him off with 7 to shoot. Pass up top, Vipperman. McLeod there, pass to the right wing. Contested, 3 balls short. It glanced off the rim and it's rebounded off the floor by McLeod. Paul, a 36% three-point shooter, missed it. And now Taylor an opportunity to tie or regain the lead down 2. Robinson mismatched and an off-ball foul will be called against Jacob Paul of Mount Vernon Nazarene as he was trying to body with the bigger C.J. Pena of Taylor. First one on Paul, number 6 against Mount Vernon Nazarene here in the opening half. And we've reached our second and final media timeout of half one. With 7:44 to go in the opening half, it's number 5 Mount Vernon Nazarene 25 and Taylor 23 here on the Trojans Sports Network. Taylor being outscored by 9 behind the arc. 9-0. Taylor's 0 of 5 from range. They're shooting 10 of 13 from two-point distance. They're at 56% overall. Mount Vernon Nazarene at 53%. And both teams 100% from the line. Taylor 3 of 3. MVNU 2 of 2. But before we can get back going, it looks like the MVNU coaching staff has a question about their timeouts. They should have their full complement left. Taylor will get it in. Baseline. That's to Robinson's right of the backboard. Behind his back to the basket, and Hubbard lays it in. That ties us at 25 on a nifty find from Ryan Robinson. For his third assist to go with his 4 points. Knox in the corner to give MVNU the lead back. His three-point shot short. Roberts hauls it down, back outside to Knox. 3 ball halfway down and out, no good. Taylor still can't get the rebound. It comes through 3 legs, and Degenkolb gets it. It was White who missed the most recent three-point try. Now an opportunity to regain the lead. Degenkolb put that shoulder down. He backs it out on the baseline. Hubbard fell down, and he gets back to his feet. Taylor reverses the ball to the near side. Pena calling for it. Robinson driving, draws 2 defenders. Pena a 3 over Moss is just short off the near side of the rim as CJ 0 of 2 from distance and Taylor 0 of 6 as a team. Still 25 aside, less than 7 to go in half one. Knox far sideline floating into Moss against the shorter Pena. Spins, nice reverse layup by Jordy Moss as he had a big spin move to get away from CJ Pena. Going against 7-footers is nothing different. CJ had to guard the 6'11 Evan Maxwell, the Kansas transfer on Wednesday at IWU. The bucket by Moss is first, puts MVNU back in front by 2, 27-25. As we approach 6.5 to go here in half one. Degenkolb calls for it, runs his man around the Pena screen, maneuvering in, almost lost it. No look dish to Pena, whose right-hand layup ties the game at 27. 4 for CJ, another assist for Mason Degenkolb, actually making that his first one here of the afternoon. 6:15 to go before half. Roberts, high right side, thought about a 3. Now Pena switches on a screen. Roberts goes in, reverse layup with his back at the rim. He puts it in with the right hand to the left side of the basket. 6 first half points for Roberts, 5 for Knox, 6 for White, and 8 by Jones, the MVNU scoring. And the number 5 team in the country back in front by a deuce, 29-27, with less than 6 to go in half one. Hubbard between the circles, bounces far sideline. Robinson with the 6'5", Roberts defending. A lob to the goal is too high for the 6'6", or the 6'5", Jason Hubbard, and it sails out of bounds. Pena out, Hagelin back in. He's the Trojans' leading scorer so far this afternoon with 8 points. Robinson with 4, Degenkolb 2, Crow 4, Miranda 3, Hubbard 2, and Pena 4. So a backdoor lob, the 7-foot wingspan, just a little bit, pass was a little bit too high there from Robinson for Jason to bring it down. Roberts near sideline to Knox around the Moss screen. Hubbard trails, Knox goes in, fading away. Shot will just catch the left side of the rim and fall through. 7 for Jevin Knox. It's back to a 2-possession lead for MVNU. They're up by 7, or something by 4. Taylor with 27. They trail 31-27. Robinson right side circle, blows right by Roberts. Weak side pass to McLeod, who lays it in with the right hand. First bucket for McLeod, 4th assist for Robinson. And a dish, beautiful, and Taylor back to within 2. 5:04 to go before half. Knox around the Moss screen. Hagelin switches, knocks off balance. Jay, perfect. As he was fading to his left, he pulls up and hits it from 12. 9 for Jevin Knox. He's on the verge of being our first double-figure scorer tonight, or this afternoon, excuse me. And again puts Taylor back down by 4. Hagelin left side high. Outside the arc to Robinson, uses the screen. Ball knocked away from behind by Roberts. And now he's on a fast break, a 2-on-1. Roberts cut off by Degenkolb, waits for reinforcements, and Mason fouled him on the floor. First one on Mason, the 4th one against Taylor here in the first half. Miranda back in, he replaces Degenkolb. 2 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist for Mason. Got hurt early on with a torso injury. Got checked out in the athletic training room and has come back with a little rough start offensively for him. White gets it into Vipperman, hands it off back to White, contested 3. He was fouled on the shot. As Robinson closed out too tightly, White got into the air and was able to contort his body to where Robinson was coming from. First on Robinson, and 3 free throws coming here for Isaac White. And the 5th one against Taylor in the half. Mount Vernon Nazarene is yet to miss a free throw this afternoon, and that will continue as White hits the first of 3. He's a great free throw shooter, is the junior from Ashland, Ohio, a transfer from Nova Southeastern and UMass Lowell. Made the first. He'll make the second. He's got one more coming. Robinson out. Degenkolb back in, along with Crow to replace Robinson and Hubbard. We'll set the Taylor 5 after the 3rd free throw from White. He got fouled on a right corner 3 try. He made the first 2. He's got 9. He's got 9. Jones has 8, and Knox has 9. And Moss exits. And it looks like Jones back in for MVNU. Taylor down by a game-high 7 after the 3 free throws from Isaac White. It's Hagelin, Miranda, Crow, Degenkolb, and McLeod, the Taylor 5. Thomas, Roberts, White, Vipperman, and Knox, the 5 out there to counter for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Knox guards Crow near sideline. 10 to shoot for the Trojans, down by 7. Hagelin with a first half 8 against the smaller Vipperman. Crab dribble back down to the right left-hand hook. Cannot get the roll on the rim, and Jones has the rebound for MVNU. An opportunity for MVNU to build on their game-high 7-point lead right here as they go from right to left in blue. White, far sideline, has 9 first-half points off the MVNU bench on 2 threes and 3 free throws. Miranda trying to guard Knox, goes in, angling in, flips it off, missed. Degenkolb taps it away, and nobody in White could haul in the rebound. Roberts has it knocked away, and Crow will steal it as he was bumped by Roberts, but no foul comes. Play on is called. A good call there by the boys in the stripes. Degenkolb stops. Jones switches down to Hagelin with Roberts switching on him. Jake slowly crabs his way in, kick out. Degenkolb thought about a 3, now pulls it over Jones. It's short off the near side rim, and Taylor is 0 of 7 from downtown to start the game today. 3:20 to go in the first. Taylor sitting on this 29 number for a long time. And they trail by 7, 36-29, with MVNU, the 5th-ranked team in the land, going from right to left in blue. Roberts near sideline, Degenkolb giving him space. High middle screen, Jones for Knox. Hagelin switches. Knox, a pretty little scoop around the screen, and he's got a game-high 11. Taylor down by a game-high 9, 38-29. 7-0 run here for MVNU. Taylor trying to stop it. They need a bucket in the worst way possible. The last 2 games, they've done really well at closing the opening half. Miranda trying to help the cause here. Stops on the baseline right. Floating it outside the arc, near sideline to Hagelin as Taylor shoots on the basket to our right. Jones comes to help. Degenkolb's weaving through, and Jones gets called for the reach-in. And Roberts smacked the shot away, and then Degenkolb lightly will shove Roberts away as well. Second on Austin Jones. That's the 7th one against Mount Vernon Nazarene. That puts Taylor in the 1-and-1 bonus. Degenkolb to the line, one of Taylor's best free throw shooters. He is their best, I should say, at 88%. Moss will come in. He'll replace Jones, who's got those two personals. So the 6'7" Jones out, the 7-foot Moss back in for Mount Vernon Nazarene. First one of the 1-and-1. Degenkolb hits. 3 points for him. That ends a long scoring drought for the Trojans. Remember, they went almost the last 5 minutes of the game Wednesday as Degenkolb makes the second freebie. Timeout, full one, taken by the Trojans. Taylor went the last 4 minutes and 50-plus seconds in their loss Wednesday to Indiana Wesleyan without a bucket. They just had a long drought here with no field goals. But 2 free throws from Degenkolb make it a 7-point Mount Vernon Nazarene lead with 2:36 remaining in the first half here on the Trojan Sports Network. Both teams shooting the ball very, very well here in the first half. Taylor at 54%, Mount Vernon Nazarene at 56%. The big difference, though, MVNU 3 of 7 from behind the arc. Taylor 0 of 7. Out of the Taylor timeout, MVNU goes from right to left in blue. Vipperman calling for it, but Roberts won't be able to get it to him. They get it up to Knox up top, who's got a game-high 11. Behind the back dribble as he moves to his right. Shifty goes Knox, falling down, and he still banks it in. Great body control by Jevin Knox to lead the game with a first half 13. After the 2 free throws by Degenkolb, Taylor finds themselves back down by 9. Far sideline, Robinson, who came in during the timeout. Degenkolb hands off to Miranda near sideline. Inside the arc, right elbow extended is Hagelin. Outside, flipping into Miranda, goes in against the 7-foot Moss, bangs in, can't get the left-hand roll. Ball knocked on the floor, Miranda trying to keep it there. It's behind Knox's back. He puts arms behind him, and it's a held ball, and the arrow points in Mount Vernon Nazarene's possession. Taylor's done a bad job of trying to get after these 50-50 balls here in the first half. And it's come back to bite him here multiple times. 1:52 to go in half one. Number 5, Mount Vernon Nazarene leads Taylor by 9, 40-31. So they bring out the mop to get up the perspiration with the players diving on the floor. Isaac White will get it into Moss, who gives it right back to White. They're out there with Roberts, Vipperman, and the aforementioned Jevin Knox, who's got the game-high 13 points. Knox a spectacular 6 of 9 from the floor shooting. Roberts far sideline, off to the backup point guard White. Robinson guards him for Taylor. Trojans the man-to-man defense. Right elbow, Roberts. Pitching outside the Knox, pulls up, left elbow jump shot, and he is on fire. He is 7 of 10 from the floor. 15 first half points for Jevin Knox. A timeout on the floor taken by whom? A 30-second timeout by Mount Vernon Nazarene. They lead by double digits for the first time today. The 5th-ranked team in the country leads Taylor 42-31 with 1:29 to go here in the half. TU would cut their deficit at 31-29. Since then, they've been outscored 11-2 And a lot of those 11 points for Mount Vernon Nazarene have come from Jevin Knox. He's got a game-high 15. Taylor trying to close the first half here with 1:20 left before halftime, trailing by 11. Back in out of the timeout, Jacob Paul, along with Alex Johnson from Mount Vernon Nazarene. Robinson drives on Paul, throws it off the glass, but it just dances off the rim. Ryan 2 of 6 to start here from the game. And with 1 minute left, Knox will slow it down. He's got the 15 first half points on 7 of 10 shooting. Hubbard guards him, who came in during the timeout for Taylor. Hagelin trails on a ball switch. Screen, skipping all the way near side to Paul, whose 3 is short off the near side rim. A beautiful find by Knox. He flung that one from one side of the floor to the other. Hagelin out and running. Bullets one to the corner to Crow. His classmate tees up a 3, no good. Hubbard's one-hand putback is too strong, and it's rebounded by Mount Vernon Nazarene. 36 seconds left to go in the opening half. About 10 seconds separate the game and shot clocks. And Knox will slow it down and try to use up as much of that game clock as possible. His team has the ball. They're the 5th-ranked team, in the land, and they lead by 11. Knox near sideline, bouncing up top to Johnson. Back to Knox. Thought about a 3, trying to get away from Hubbard. Stop. Step through lefty. Scoop. He'll dance off. Johnson tried to dunk it, and it slipped through his hands. Just the 4th miss of the afternoon by Knox. Behind the back dribble, Robinson goes in, knocked out of his hands, and a foul will go against Jeremiah Roberts of MVNU, and that is his 2nd. That's the 8th one against Mount Vernon Nazarene here in the first half. And Roberts comes over to get an explanation. Robinson with just 4 points here in the game, 2 of 6 from the floor and 0 of 3 from 3. First trip to the line this afternoon. First one, front rim, gets the roll. Ryan, an 86% free throw shooter, 2nd best on the Trojans. Hagelin out, Pena back in. A little more bounce out there for Taylor and a little more length with 7 3/10 of a second. First Ryan free throw made it a 10-point deficit. The second one can make it 9 if it goes, and it does. 5 points for Robinson, and Taylor looking for a good defensive stand here. Pitch back, trailing Vipperman 3 ball off the back of the rim. Getting in Roberts off before the horn, dancing and missing as Roberts went wheeling in and almost was able to get a right-hand hook to fall. But the leading scorer, Jevin Knox, for Mount Vernon Nazarene, comes in averaging 18. He pours in 15 in the first half. And Taylor finds themselves down by 9 to the 5th-ranked Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars after 1 half of play here on the Trojan Sports Network. We're back with half number 2 and the BSN Sports Halftime Report after this commercial break. Back here inside Odell Arena, this is the BSN Sports Halftime Report, and it was the Jevin Knox show in the first half, the former All-League selection, the sophomore guard for Mount Vernon out of Marysville, Ohio. Scored 15 first-half points for Mount Vernon Nazarene. His average is 18. And he carried the way for Mount Vernon Nazarene. He's been the difference here in the first half for MVNU as they lead 42-33 over Taylor after 20 minutes of play. MVNU shot 52% from the floor. Taylor was 46%. The difference, though, is Mount Vernon Nazarene made 3 3-point baskets for 9 points. The Trojans, 0 of 8. And Taylor trails by that 9-point margin right here at half. Each team did not miss a free throw in the opening 20 minutes. MVNU 5 of 5, Taylor 7 of 7. Knox 15 points, 7 of 11 shooting, and 1 of 2 from behind the arc. Only had 1 other rebound. His job was to score, and he did that in a beautiful fashion in the first half for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Isaac White gave them a nice pop off the bench. He had 9 points on 2 of 5 shooting, both on 3-point baskets, and he also was fouled on a 3 and made all 3 threes as well for MVNU in that first half. Austin Jones had 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting for the Cougars. Jeremiah Roberts had 6. Brett Vipperman, their second leading scorer, at 16 points tonight, had 2 on just 2 shots in that opening half. Jordy Moss had 2 points off of the bench for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Jacob Paul started but did not score, missing all 3 of his tries in the first half. And Alex Johnson was the only other bench player for Mount Vernon Nazarene, along with White and Moss, and he was held scoreless. All 8 players that played in the first half for Taylor all scored, led by Jake Hegeland's 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Ryan Robinson had 6 for Taylor. 3 players had 4, Degenkolb, Crow, and Pena. Miranda chipped in 3. McLeod and Hubbard each had 2. Leading rebounder in the first half for Mount Vernon Nazarene was Jeremiah Roberts. He had 6. That's 1 more than his average on the season. He's the third best rebounder for Mount Vernon Nazarene on the year. The Trojans' leading rebounder was Mason Degenkolb. He had 4. Leading assist man for Taylor, Ryan Robinson with 4, but he also had 4 of the Trojans' 5 turnovers. MVNU's leading assist man, 2 of them, Jacob Paul and Jeremiah Roberts, each with 2. Taylor turned it over 5 times in the first half, MVNU 3. Taylor assisted on 7 of their 13 baskets. Mount Vernon Nazarene 5 of their 17. But the big difference, we'll see if Taylor can get hot here in the second half from 3. That's what we saw when these two teams met in the regular season a year ago here on the home floor. Taylor trailed at the half. They were able to cut it down to single digits at halftime a year ago. And then Ryan Robinson went nuts in the second half, making all 8 of his 3-point tries on his way to a program-tying 9 made on the afternoon. Ryan, like the rest of the team, 0 of 3 from behind the arc in the first half. We'll see if he can catch fire. Kind of like what Abby Books did back in the women's game earlier today. Abby was 0 for in the half, no points, missed every shot she took in the first half of our first game today, and then she erupted for 16 second-half points. We'll see if Ryan can copy his fellow junior guard's pace from earlier today. This has been the BSN Sports Halftime Report. At the break, it's number 5 Mount Vernon Nazarene with a 9-point edge over Taylor at 42-33 here on the Trojan Sports Network. When we come back, it's time for the second half here from Odell Arena. Taylor will start with the ball to start this second half. They have their starters back on the floor: Ryan Robinson, Mason Degenkolb, James McLeod, Jason Hubbard, and Jake Hegelin. Mount Vernon Nazarene counters with their starting five of Jevin Knox, Jacob Paul, Austin, and Jeremiah Roberts. Taylor from right to left in white. They have the opening possession of the second half, and they trailed by 9. Degenkolb had 4 in the first half to Hegelin, who had a team-high 8. Handoff, Degenkolb, open space, reverse layup, uses the rim as a defender, and he caught the trailing Austin Jones, and Degenkolb lays it in for 6 points. He now has 6 points. There are no 6-point shots in basketball. Taylor down by 7. MVNU, their first crack at the basket to our right. Knox, 3-ball straight away, short, hits off the rim. Degenkolb has it. Will they call Mason for the push-off? And they will. Jeremiah Roberts was soaring in for a rebound and a potential putback, but then position was altered as he went flying out of bounds. They'll say Mason pushed him, and that's the second one on Degenkolb. So after Knox misses a straightaway 3, MVNU gets another crack at the basket. Left corner Knox. Hubbard tried to poke it away from Vipperman, who almost fumbled it away with the ball near his shoes. McLeod guards Knox, far sideline. They spin it all the way near sideline to the point guard Paul. Around a screen, trailing Vipperman, shoot 3, got it, high left side. 3-ball by Vipperman, his first 3 of the afternoon. He's got 5. He was limited to just 2 in the opening half. And again, the 3-point shots falling here in bunches for MVNU. That's their 4th. Taylor still has yet to hit from long range, and Taylor back down by 10. A minute into the second half. They go from right to left. Robinson looking for the first 3 of the afternoon, and there it is. So 9 for Robinson. Taylor missed their first 8 threes, and Robinson answers the 3-ball from Vipperman with a triple of his own. Knocks a left corner 3 from the leftmost edge. His feet were almost out of bounds. He was in the farthest most corner across from us, and Knox makes a 3 of his own. His second of the afternoon. He's got 18, and that's 3 straight threes made by both teams. 2 for MVNU and 1 for the Trojans. Hegelin, high right side to the man to hit that 3 in Robinson. Jones switches on a screen, back to Hegelin with a mismatch. Now Vipperman guards him, a little bit better suited to defend Hegelin. Up top, 3-ball, Hubbard spins off. McLeod comes in and punches it away, and then he'll be called for an over-the-back call against Jacob Paul. First one on James, first one against Taylor here in the half. And Paul will exit for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Isaac White will come in to spell him early. Almost 2 minutes into the second half. Paul, a little bit of a limp, but not much. He looks to be okay. He looks to get a little water there at the end of the bench. But White was great in the first half, had 9 off the bench for Mount Vernon Nazarene, matching his season average. Jones left side circle to Roberts left sideline. Off a screen comes White, but Roberts won't deal it away. He'll give it off to Knox. Right side circle, Jones fakes the handoff, goes right at Hegelin, who goes in. He'll get the layup, and they'll call a foul against Jake Hegelin. Second one on Jake, second one against Taylor in the half, and not a good, after a great start on scoring on the opening possession, it's been all MVNU here since in the early going of the second half. Taylor down by a game-high 12 right now. We had 6 ties and 7 lead changes in that first half. The and one from the lefty Jones, short there for the rebound. First miss from the line today by Austin Jones. So Taylor down by a game-high 12. They trailed by as many as 11 back in the first half. Still just underway in this second half. Degenkolb trying to go baseline left, hesitates, tiptoes the baseline underneath the hoop, spins with a left-hand bounce, hands off to Hegelin, to the right block, hesitates over the defender, and he banks it in over Jones. Hegelin, Taylor's first double-figure score with 10, and that matches the Trojan deficit at 50-40. Paul dribbling with that right hand, deals off to Knox. Around the Jones screen, stop. Was nice contest by McLeod to making the force pass the ball. Then Jones will go in. He's blocked from behind by Hubbard, but Taylor can't get the ball loose. Then Hubbard dives in and he tackles Jones. First one on Hubbard, third one against Taylor here in the half. So Hubbard gets his second block of the afternoon, but no one for Taylor could corral the loose ball. And a fresh 20-second shot clock reset to work with here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Taylor head coach Josh Andrews not happy across from us. He's issued a warning, or just kind of a hand was held up to him by one of our officials down below us. Something called Jazz 2 will be run here by MVNU with Isaac White running the show. Around a screen at the top of the key, picks of the dribble, back to the trailing Knox between the circles. Down low to Vipperman, goes up, challenged by Hagelin, missed. Hubbard tapped away, Robinson off his fingertips, throws it off of Vipperman, and it bounces over to the hands of Hubbard. Good challenge by Hagelin. Taylor could really use a bucket here, down 10. Robinson attacks right around White for a right-hand scoop, and the foul for Ryan Robinson. He blitzed MVNU in the second half a year ago on this floor. He's got 5 to start the second half off. And the foul's on, if it's on Isaac White, it should be his second. The scoreboard up there says it's his first. White will exit as Paul comes back in to replace him. Ryan to complete the and one. Perfect from the line today, 2 of 2. Let's make him 3 of 3. 12-6 quickly here. A little over 3 minutes into this second half. Taylor down by 7. Foul is on Isaac White. We'll check his foul total here momentarily, or we'll check it when he comes back in. Roberts, a handoff from Vipperman. The shorter Degenkolb guards him. They look Jones his way. Instead, Paul drives. Out to the open. Vipperman has 1 3 in the half. This one's short. Go out to the far sideline. Taylor cannot get the rebound. Vipperman tied up. And it'll be a foul between Degenkolb and Hubbard, as either one of those two Trojan defenders, it's Mason Degenkolb, and that's Degenkolb's third. And he came down. He closed down too tightly in that mythical tunnel or cylinder that surrounds a ball handler when they pick the ball up, and that's what they're saying Degenkolb was guilty of. Crow in to replace Hubbard. Mason's got to be careful playing with the 3 personals. Not even 4 minutes into this second half. Taylor back to within 7. Could really use a defensive stop here, something they really struggled with towards the middle part of the opening half. Right side of the floor, near sideline Vipperman. Shoulder shake, almost lost his balance. Got it back. A head fake goes in for an easy bank shot. Vipperman almost blew a tire as he tried to drive to the baseline right. And he was able to get Hagelin in the air and then was able to elude Crow as well. Taylor back down by 9, 52-43. They go from right to left in white. MVNU defends in blue. Degenkolb with the 3 personal fouls. Roberts defends. Got him on skates. Spins to the rim. Degenkolb can't get the roll. But there's the third one on Jeremiah Roberts, who's been Degenkolb's defender all day. And that brings us to immediate timeout. Second one against Mount Vernon Nazarene here in the half. 15:41 remaining in the second half. It's number 5, Mount Vernon Nazarene 52, and Taylor 43 here on the Trojan Sports Network. Taylor being outscored by 12 behind the arc, 15-3. The other interesting stat, 9 offensive rebounds for Mount Vernon Nazarene. That matches their season average. Taylor with only 4 offensive rebounds, but no second chance points so far for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Taylor has 6 on their 4 offensive caroms. 2 shots for Degenkolb, the first, good. 7 for him. So even though the offensive rebounds have come in a greater quantity to Mount Vernon Nazarene, hasn't led to points, but taking opportunities away from Taylor to cut into this deficit. Once again, they find themselves down by 7. 4.5 minutes into half number 2. MVNU, the 5th-ranked team in the country, from right to left. White fakes a 3, steps to his right, looking for another 3 ball, and he gets it. Third 3 of the day. White 3 of 5 from downtown, and he's got 12. White comes in averaging 9 points, but he's hit Taylor with 12 here so far. Robinson drives, right-hand floater through traffic, catching the back of the rim. No, tapped out. Hagelin couldn't get it as Paul snatched it away. MVNU leading by 10. White calls for it, gets it back to Paul in the corner for a game-high 13-point lead. Can't get it. Moss, a 7-footer, taps it to himself, but it's going to go against Moss or Jones. For Mount Vernon Nazarene, it's Moss, the big man. His first and number 3 against the visitors. CJ Pena in for the first time here in this second half. He replaces McLeod. So it's Pena, Robinson, Degenkolb, Crow, and Hegeland. The freshman Pena, the 2 juniors Robinson and Degenkolb, and the 2 seniors Hegeland and Crow. Taylor again playing without Emmanuel Boitin. Last time he played was December 1st against SAU, and they could really use some front court help today. Degenkolb pull up, rainbow 3, air ball, Pena tracking, saving all the way out, and Paul will intercept it as he couldn't get it to Robinson on the Pena save. He slipped, and CJ hustles all the way back, and he forces Paul to crouch to defend the dribble. Right block, Moss against the shorter Hegeland. Nice spin move, but his bank shot was too strong, and Pena rebounds it for Taylor. Still a 10-point Trojan deficit. Robinson trying to go end-to-end. Kicks out to Degenkolb, back to Hegeland, back to Degenkolb. One dribble pull-up to the far sideline, and Robinson. Inside the right wing, Hegeland's been good from long range. He'll back down Moss, floating it outside to Robinson, who touches it off to Degenkolb. High middle screen, Hegeland. Jump. Pull a fade away 18-footer off the back rim. Pena trying to fight for it. Jones will tiptoe the baseline and save it in for MVNU to Knox. Up the floor, no one finds Jacob Paul, but he will not pull from 3. Crow guards him on a slight mismatch. Knox, right elbow, over the shoulder Robinson, swish. 20 for Jevin Knox, comes in averaging 18. He had 15 in the first half, and Taylor has not had an answer for Jevin Knox all afternoon. Trojans back down by 12, 57-45, 6.5 minutes into half 2. Robinson drives to the corner. Pena, 3 over Jones. No, off the back iron. CJ 0 of 3 from distance tonight. Was shooting 46% from 3 the last 11 games. Moss fakes a 3, down low to Jones. Against the smaller Pena, aggressive right-hand hook is good for 10. 10 points for Austin Jones. And Taylor down by a game-high 14, 59-45. They've been outscored 17-12 here in the second half, and that forces a Taylor timeout. As the Mount Vernon Nazarene bench comes off to congratulate their players on the floor for a job well done. Full timeout by the Trojans as they're down by a game-high 14 to 5th-ranked Mount Vernon Nazarene with 13-19 remaining here in the second half. Fifth-ranked Mount Vernon Nazarene has made 7 more field goals than the Trojans today, 24-17, but their biggest advantage right now is outscoring Taylor by 15 points from behind the arc, and they lead by 14 points TU with 13-19 remaining here in the second half. Miranda in for the first time in the second half for Taylor. He's out there with McLeod, Pena, Robinson, and Crow. Taylor attacking the basket to our left. Pena right elbow extended, handoff. Robinson has the only 3 of the afternoon for Taylor. That one was rolling halfway down and out. Crow rebound, pitching it over to Pena, who goes up and lost the ball on the way up. Taylor looking for a foul that won't come. White runs the break. Knox fakes to his right, goes to his left, kicking out. White fakes the 3, spins away, got to the left elbow, but cannot get a shot off. Pivoting and outside the arc, it goes to Knox, down low to Moss. Miranda comes in to help, and Moss missed the shot as Miranda came to help against the shorter Pena. Second one on Miranda, number 6 against Taylor here in the second half. They only committed 6 first-half fouls. They've already committed 6 here with 12:49 remaining in regulation. Moss to the line, first time this afternoon. And the first one for the big man rattles in and stays down. 3 points for Moss. Not the best free throw shooter at 65%. Plays eerily quiet. 4 points for Moss off the bench. That's his first points here of the second half. And Taylor down 61-45 with 12:43 to go second half. They've got some time, but they need to start making some shots quickly, particularly from three-point range. But Robinson can't hit that one. Taylor 1 of 14 from behind the arc. They missed their first 8 and have missed their next 5. On the other end, a fadeaway 3 no good from White. He's now 3 of 6. And Taylor with the rebound. Robinson between the circles, guarded by Paul. 61-45, the MVNU lead. It's their largest advantage of the afternoon. Pena hands off to McLeod, a skip with Vipperman defending. Miranda will try to get going from 3. That one is long as well. And Moss is taller than everybody and picks that rebound out like a cherry in a tree. Knox up the near sideline, stops, thought about a transition 3. He'll deal to the near side corner and Isaac White. Moss hands off to White. Miranda fights through the Moss screen. Vipperman, one dribble, handoff, knocks a deep 3 off balance, but doesn't matter. That rips the nylon. Third 3 of the afternoon for Jevin Knox. He's got 23 points. He's 3 of 5 from deep, and Taylor down by a game-high 19. They came back from a 19-point deficit last Saturday against St. Francis, but that was back in the first half. They've got 11:35 in the second half to do it here to the Trojans. Pena right side of the floor, couldn't give it to Crow, who was cutting on the baseline. Pena against the 7-foot Moss goes in and get the foul as Moss almost took the legs out from Pena. 6 for CJ, second foul against Moss. Boston Jones returns for MVNU. Moss exits. Hubbard and Degenkolb back in for Taylor. We'll reset the lineups after the Pena free throw. CJ 45% on the year. That one back of the rim. He's got 7 off the Taylor bench. And Taylor down 64-47. For Mount Vernon Nazarene, it is Jones, Knox, Vipperman, Paul, and White. The Trojans counter with McLeod, Pena, Miranda, Hubbard, and Degenkolb. Knox chased off the arc, pulls up from 18, and he cannot miss. He's got 25 points as Jevin Knox. He's 11 of 16 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. Knox putting on one of the best offensive performances of his sophomore season. And Taylor finds themselves down by 18, 66-48. Degenkolb had the ball knocked away by Paul. It stays here with Taylor. Crow comes back in for Taylor, replacing McLeod. The Trojans being outscored by 18 points behind the arc. And that is matching their difference right now. 7 made threes for MVNU, just 1 for Taylor. The Trojans 1 of 15. They come in averaging 9 made threes per game and a 36% clip. Top of the key, Degenkolb, little shoulder shake with Paul defending. Still doesn't put it on the deck, now does when Pena comes to set the screen. Jones will switch on him for MVNU, driving Miranda left hand, angling in against White, missed it, and cleaned away by Jevin Knox for just his second rebound here of the afternoon. Knox, the 6'2 sophomore from Marysville, Ohio, has a game-high 25 points. And Taylor has had no answer for the 6'2 sophomore here this afternoon. Off to Isaac White with 12 points off the MVNU bench. Knox around to Jones screen, down to him, Jones in. Hubbard fouls him on the take. Second one on Hubbard, that is the 7th one against Taylor in the half. That'll put MVNU in the 1-1 bonus with 10:18 to go here in the second half. Jones 2 of 3 from the line today. He's one of 3 MVNU players in double figures. He's got 12. Same thing for Isaac White, but it's been all Jevin Knox today. And Jones, who, as we mentioned, not a good free throw shooter at 61%. He shot 72% a year ago, but he's 3 of 4 today, and all of them have looked pretty clean going in. He made the first, and he will not make the short. So 13 for Jones, and Taylor down by a game-high tying 19. 67-48. Taylor has not been able to buy anything from behind the arc this afternoon. Just 1 of 15. MVNU 7 of 17. Hubbard drives around Knox. Can't get the layup, and there will be the second personal foul against Jevin Knox here this afternoon. Hubbard to the line for 2. Good free throw shooter, really good free throw shooter at 86%. 2 points on the day, and now 3. This to bring Taylor to trailing by 17. He made the first, and Jason makes the second. 4 for Hubbard, timeout, 30-second variety for Taylor. That leaves them with 2 full timeouts left. Mount Vernon Nazarene has their 4 full timeouts left, and their 1:30. 10:03 to go, second half, 30-second timeout for Taylor. They trail number 5 MVNU 67-50 here on the Trojans Sports Network. Almost halfway home here in the second half. White falls down, and he traveled with it on the near side corner. Slipped on that footing in the near side right when Degenkolb and Hubbard came to collapse on him with pressure in the backcourt. They'll bring the mop out. They'll mop up the sweat. That's just the 4th turnover all day for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Taylor has just 6. Both are well below each team's season average. But it's been the inability to hit three-point shots the reason that Taylor is down right now by 17. They've made 1 of their 15. MVNU 7 of 17, outscoring Taylor by 18 from behind the arc. Miranda, leaner 3, got it from the left corner. Just the second made 3 all day, and now Taylor applies backcourt pressure again. Jones trying to get in. Miranda dives. It's loose in the corner. It's out of bounds. It's going back. It's going to MVNU, but look at Miranda. After a fadeaway left corner 3, he dives in and tries to keep it in on Taylor's side of the floor. The Miranda 3 makes it a 14-point game. Now our officials huddle up. They mistakenly said 19 seconds off for the shot clock. That'd be way too much. Should be 29 where it sits. 9:49 to go, second half. We saw Taylor put on the full court press when they were trailing against Huntington earlier this season, and it worked well, trying to get them back into that game. They try to do the same thing here. Vipperman pass near side with White straddling the timeline. He gets away from the pressure, and now Hubbard will guard him from straight away. Knox with Crow, the defensive assignment there. Jones hands off to Knox. Pena comes. He'll knock it away, and now Knox tries to get back. Pena drives, right-hand scoop. He missed it, but there's the 3rd foul against the offensive workhorse today for MVNU, Jevin Knox. If you're looking for points, Pena probably could have thrown it and bounced it over to Crow, but instead he gets the 3rd personal against Jevin Knox, who has barely missed a shot all day. He's 11 of 16 from the floor for a game-high 25. There's a man at the scores table ready to come in, we think, to replace him. Free throw from Pena. Good. 8 for CJ. And so Knox is going to stay. Out goes Isaac White for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Jeremiah Roberts comes back in, and he's playing with 3 personal fouls. So that's the 3rd one on Knox, the 6th one against MVNU in the half. Pena court. And Taylor down by 13, 67-54 with 9:26 to go second half. White accelerates, and he will call a timeout in front of the scores table across from us. It'll be a 30 or a full. 30 or a full, 30 or a full, 30 or a full. Full. So we'll take a long break. 9:24 to go in regulation. Number 5 MVNU leads Taylor 67-54 with Taylor putting on a little pressure here recently. This is Taylor men's basketball here on the Trojan Sports Network. No changes to either 5. In front of his own bench across from us on the far sideline. He's out there with Paul, Knox, Jones, and Roberts. Taylor counters with Degenkolb, Hubbard, Miranda, Crow, and Pena. All 5 capable three-point shooters for Taylor. Vipperman. Hubbard almost made him pick it up. Vipperman spins back to his left, goes in, almost fell down up top. Roberts a step back straightaway 3, short. Pena had it, and that's going to be an over-the-back call against Austin Jones, and that's his 3rd. So Jones has 3, Knox has 3, Roberts has 3. That's 3 of the 5 starters for MVNU. The 7th one against Mount Vernon Nazarene, and will make the slow walk back for a 1-and-1 opportunity to the other end for Taylor. So Taylor on a 6-0 burst right now. A 1-and-1 for Pena, who missed his most recent attempt. He'll make this one. CJ 2 of 3. 9 points for Pena. Moss back in. He replaces. Jones has got to take a seat with the 3 personals. This to make it an 11-point Taylor deficit with 9:09 to go in the second half. CJ left. CJ 3 of 4 from the, or maybe now 3 of 5 from the line, excuse me. And Taylor to within 12 on a 7-0 run. Less than 9 to go, second half. Vipperman drives, got into Hubbard. Right-hand hook is good for 2. 9 for Vipperman, was limited to just 2 in that first half. But he's got 7 here after halftime, or 6 after half, yeah, 7 after halftime, excuse me. It's back to a 14-point Taylor deficit. That stops his 7-0 Taylor run. Degenkolb, left block, Moss cuts him off. Far sideline, Crow driving left hand. Jump stop, fadeaway, short 2, good. 6 for Crow, and now Taylor applies the backcourt pressure. Down by 12 once again, with 8.5 minutes remaining here in the second half. Paul wings it all the way to the far sideline, and Vipperman who's able to haul it in. And now Mount Vernon Nazarene will slow it down. Vipperman, left block, Moss, and they get Pena for the foul. First on CJ. 7th one against Taylor here in the second, or make it the 8th. But they want to put Moss to the line, who's just a 65% free throw shooter. Although he is 2 of 2 this afternoon. Moss 2 of 2. The first one, nope. The strategy works there, and now Taylor goes to the other end, still down by 12. 69-57, 8:13 to go, second half. Degenkolb driving, spinning. Pena open, 3 ball. Nope, off the right side of the rim, but an off-ball foul called against Vincent Miranda as he and Jacob Paul were battling for the rebound on the near side of the floor. CJ 0 of 4 from behind the arc. The Taylor fans not happy with the call against Miranda. That's Vinny's 3rd, or Vincent's 3rd, I should say. Don't want Mrs. Miranda to get mad at me. Whoa, a flagrant foul against Vincent. I didn't see the play. I was looking where the ball was coming from. I just saw he and Paul down on the floor. So they get Miranda for the flagrant foul. It's his 3rd personal. And Jacob Paul will go to the line for 2. Again, I'm sorry, I did not see what the flagrant foul was. I saw him get tangled up as Paul makes the first free throw for his first point of the afternoon. And then he'll miss the second one short. A rare miss at the line for the 74% free throw shooter. That one just grazed the front of the rim. So Miranda exits for Taylor. Robinson comes back in for TU. 13. They've trailed by as many as 19 here in the second half. 8:05 to go. Vipperman will try to get it in. He can't run the baseline enough to burn a timeout. Good on-ball defense on the inbounds play by Hubbard and his teammates as well. There's a 30 and a full potential. It'll be a 30. For Mount Vernon Nazarene, that leaves them with 4 fulls. Taylor has 2 fulls left. 8:06 to go, second half. Mount Vernon Nazarene with the ball, leading by 13, 70 to 57, excuse me, here in the second half. no changes to either 5. Vipperman will still try to get it in with Hubbard on the baseline to our left, almost all the way in the near side corner. Gets it into White. Hubbard and Robinson trying to bracket him in. He'll flip it up the near sideline as Vipperman runs away from trouble. Jump stops and spins and gives it on back to the point guard, Jacob Paul. Less than 8 to go in the second half. MVNU with the ball. They lead by 13. They've led by as many as 19 here in the second half, thanks in large part to 25 from Jevin Knox. Roberts cut off baseline left. Near sideline to Knox. Double team to Paul with 5 to driving on Crow. Goes in and reverses it in with a left hand from right to left. Jacob Paul held scoreless until the most recent 3 points scored by Mount Vernon Nazarene. And Taylor down 72-57, 7.5 to go here in the second half. They have not been able to stop MVNU offensively today. Robinson drives, no good, and the left-hand scoop is rebounded by Moss. Paul runs in, and they get Degenkolb for a block. Mason was fading backwards, and then Paul ran into him. Mason fell back trying to draw the charge, could not. And that's Mason's 4th. The 10th one against Taylor. That puts MVNU in the double bonus for the rest of the game with 7:20 remaining here in regulation. Jacob Paul to the line for 2. Just missed one short off the front rim. 1 of 2 this afternoon. First one, perfect. He's got 4. McLeod and Miranda in for Taylor, replacing Crow and Degenkolb. Jones back in with the 3 personals for MVNU, replacing the 7-footer Moss. And the second one from Paul. He's for MVNU after being held scoreless throughout most of the contest. After Taylor had cut it down to 12, they've been outscored 5-0 since and are down by 17. 7:10 to go, second half. Pena inside the arc, hands off to Hubbard. Left-hand dribble, backs it out after pressure comes from the help defender, Jeremiah Roberts. Hubbard crossing over to his left hand. Paul goes in and gets him on the forearm. Easy one there as Paul reached out, tried to go for the steal, got Hubbard's left forearm. Second one on Paul, 8th one against Mount Vernon Nazarene. And here's a 1-and-1 opportunity for Jason Hubbard. Hubbard comes in averaging 9 points a game, but has scored 4 and 3 points respectively in his last 2 times out. He makes the first free throw here to get him to 5. 74-58, the MVNU lead with 7:01 to go second half. Second one from Hubbard. They are not able to distract Mr. Hubbard. He's 4 of 4 from the line. Taylor down by 15. Vipperman gets it into Paul, runs into Miranda, and it's a block against Miranda. And that sends the Taylor fans into hysterics. All the students jump off, and they are screaming at the officials right now down below us. They thought Miranda had gotten his feet set. Instead, Vincent called for his 4th personal foul. And with MVNU in the double bonus, we make the long walk to the other end. And back to the line goes Jacob Paul, who scored 5 in a row for Mount Vernon Nazarene. His first one, good. As we mentioned earlier, Mount Vernon Nazarene committed 25 fouls in their loss to Spring Arbor in double overtime on Tuesday. And both teams racking up fouls here. We've got 32 fouls called here so far between the two teams. And Paul will miss the second free throw. So Taylor down 75-59, less than 7 to go in the second half. They need buckets in the worst way possible, and they need stops on the other end in bunches. Miranda high right side around the left side, Pena screen. Now off to Hubbard, and to the near sideline it goes to Robinson. Pena inside the arc, high left side, threading it through to Robinson. Reverse layup try, right hand, good, off the glass. 14 for Robinson. And Taylor trails by 14, 75-61 as Vipperman will maneuver away from pressure and give off far sideline to Paul. He runs away from 2 Taylor defenders. Vipperman fakes a pass to his right, and then back out near the far side hash mark, and Jacob Paul, the point guard. 5'9" from Canton, Ohio, and St. Thomas Aquinas High School. He'll pitch it up. Shot clock down to 7. Knox, haven't called his name scoring in a while, spins away, trying to go up and under on Hubbard. Right hand scoop. That one will just dance off the rim for a rare miss from Jevin Knox today. McLeod with the rebound for Taylor. Right sideline, Robinson as Taylor shoots on the basket to our left. Blistering crossover, back out the arc with a right hand. Now to the left, Hubbard throws a bullet down low. Too far for Pena, but it was deflected out and stays with Taylor. 75-61, the Taylor deficit with 5:53 remaining here in half number 2. Robinson will get it in baseline right to McLeod, who hands it off back to Robinson. Jones switches on a speed mismatch. Dribble, pull up, shot was blocked by Jones, goes off the back of Vipperman. Moranin had it. He's shoved to the ground, and Taylor's fans get up looking for a foul. McLeod got away with a reach, and then Pena dives on the floor. He'll be tied up with Roberts, and now everybody's slipping and sliding all over the floor. Miranda got bumped. The Taylor students down below us jumped out of their seats screaming for a foul. That would not come. Now they unpack the bodies down low. And Pena gets up, favoring one of his legs. It's the hair. He exits along with McLeod, Hegelin, and Crow back in. And on the alternating possession, it goes back to Mount Vernon Nazarene. They lead by 14, 75-61 with 5:37 left to go here in the second half. And Hubbard, like he's done the last handful of minutes, he will defend the inbound. Vipperman will be the one to get it in. Bullets it up over Crow's head, right easily to Roberts, who dribbles to the front court along the near side arc. Mount Vernon Nazarene shooting 53% from the floor. 1 percentage point better than their season average. They've made 5 more threes than Taylor. That's been the big reason today for Taylor's lack of offensive productivity. They come in averaging, the Trojans do 9 made threes a game. They've only made 2. Down low to Jones, too far for him. Saves it, catch and shoot 3 before the shot clock by Knox. And for the first time today all day, I think he's missed 2 shots in a row. He missed that 3 there. Crow high left side, rips to his right to Hegelin, who trails, and off to Robinson. Blows right by Roberts. Show and go from Robinson for a layup. 16 for the deadly point guard, and now Knox will be double teamed and deals it back. Less than 5 to go second half. Mount Vernon Nazarene's lead is down to 12. White caught in the backcourt. 3 seconds to get it across. Vipperman just gets it across with a second on a pass to White. Taylor has not been able to get closer than this 12-point margin here in the last few moments. And Jacob Paul will jog across to the far sideline and get a timeout from his 5th-year head coach, Jared Ronay. 4:42 to go second half. It's number 5, Mount Vernon Nazarene 75 and Taylor 63 here on the Trojan Sports Network. Full timeout by the Cougars. So out of the Mount Vernon Nazarene timeouts, Isaac White, who re-enters, replaces Roberts. And Moss is back in. He replaces Jones. Pass to the backcourt. They get it to Paul, who now hands off to White. They're out there with Vipperman, Knox, and Moss. 9 to shoot for MVNU. They have the ball leading by 12. A stop here could be huge for the Trojans. Back out to Vipperman, driving high left side of the corner, and Paul with 2, with 1, fade away from 10. No, hit the glass, and that's a shot clock violation. Big defensive stop there for Taylor, as now the offensive and defensive substitutions start for Jared Ronay's crew. Jones and Roberts back in for the visitors, replacing Moss and White. And with 4:25 to go here in the second half, Taylor has the ball and an opportunity with a 3-point basket to cut their deficit down to single digits for the first time since the opening half. And the opening part of this half, I should say. Hegelin bounces to Degenkolb, high right side, goes to his right. Dribbling, stopping and going, and he's fouled on the take by Roberts. They'll wave the basket off. That's the 4th one on Jeremiah Roberts, the 9th one against MVNU here in this slow-moving second half. They initially signaled a 1-and-1. It should be 2 shots, or is it on the floor? Isaac White back in for MVNU, replacing Roberts. So it is a 1-and-1, excuse me. The foul was on the floor. So 1-and-1 for Degenkolb. 4 of 4 this afternoon. And 5 of 5. He's got 8. And Taylor 2 within 11. Trying to make it 10. Closest they've been since the beginning of this opening of this half. 10 for Degenkolb, third Trojan in double figures. And the Trojans trail by 10 with 4:13 to go. Pass up, Crow intercepts from their left side arc up top. Degenkolb for a 7-point deficit. Got it, left side circle. 5 in a row, Degenkolb. Crow with the steal. A triple by Degenkolb. And just like that, Taylor to within 7. Vipperman running, near side to Paul, racing, and he'll hit the brakes before the timeline. Hubbard trying to make him pick it up. Near sideline trying to use it, and they get Hubbard for the bump. As he just got White with the hip. Already in the double bonus is MVNU. Paul back to the line. Normally the reliable free throw shooter, but his 2 misses today have both been short. First one here of the double bonus is perfect. He's got 7 all here in the second half. And he's been the scoring punch, scoring at all 7 of his points here in the last few moments. White exits for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Roberts replaces him. Shot is up. 8 points for him, all here in the second half, and the majority of them coming from the free throw line where he's 5 of 7. Taylor back down by 9 after the 3 ball by Degenkolb. It brought them to within 7. Down by 9 now. Head fake and drive. Thought about a fadeaway left elbow jumper was Degenkolb. Hubbard driving on Knox, trying to get that 4th foul against the best offensive player today. And this might come here as he got greedy with a reach-in foul, trying to poke it away from Hubbard with the help of a double team. And that's the 4th one on Jevin Knox, who's been held in check and been quiet here in the last few moments. And that's the 10th one against Mount Vernon Nazarene. And so both teams are around the double bonus. And here are 2 big free throws for Hubbard. The first one is good. 7 for Hubbard. Isaac White in, replacing Jeremiah Roberts. And so Knox will remain in there with the 4 personal fouls. It'll be interesting to see when Taylor gets the ball back how quickly you try to go after Knox and try to get him out of there. Hubbard made the first, and he wills in the second. Back of the rim. He's 6 of 6 from the line, and Taylor back to within 7. Pass near side to White, back to Vipperman as he runs up and then stops far side. Got into the air, Hubbard all on him, pass across the timeline to White. Double team comes near the timeline, they can't get it away. Vipperman spins, hand off to Knox. With 3:23 left to go here in the second half. Taylor down by 7 on defense. MVNU trying to bleed clock here. Shot clock already down to 10. Jones hands off, a long 3 left side is no good, missed by Paul and rebounded by Hubbard. Taylor with the ball, trailing by 7. Degenkolb hits the brakes high right side. Hagelin there for the screen. Now Jones will switch and guard Degenkolb. Down low to Hagelin. Double team comes out to Degenkolb. A 3-ball on the way and short off the right side of the rim. That would have made it a 4-point Taylor deficit. Still time left if you can get a stop here if you're the Trojans. Down 7 with 2:50 remaining in regulation. Knox drives, pulls up free throw line and hits. First bucket and then forever for Jevin Knox. He's got 27. And Taylor down by 9. The good news for Taylor was a quick shot. Robinson attacking, pitching out to Crow. Fakes a 3, drives Hagelin around the arc, near sideline to Hubbard, with White defending him. Hubbard turning the corner on Vipperman, lost the dribble, and as he went up, he was fouled by either Vipperman or Jones. It's against Jones, and that's his 4th. Both teams already in the double bonus, and so more free throws coming for Taylor. They're 21 of 23 from the line today for 91%. And their free throw shooting is what's kept them in the game here as of late, with their dismal 3-point shooting going on so far today. 2 shots for Jason. First one, front rim rolls and good. 9 for Hubbard. Pena and Miranda back in for Taylor, replacing Crow and Hagelin with 2:25 left to go here in half number 2. Another opportunity for Taylor to draw back to within 7. Second free throw from the freshman Hubbard, and that one swished. Line today, he's the 4th Trojan in double figures with 10. Taylor down by 7, White near side with Hubbard guarding him. And then as Paul slipped, he was aided down there by the hip check from Hubbard. That's Jason's 4th. And now we'll make the other march to the other end for more free throws. For a while there, it seemed like the referees were letting everybody play. Everybody was sprawling on the floor. They were getting hit. And now every foul is being whistled here. That is now 37 fouls called in our game so far. And Paul makes the first one. 9 for him. Outside of that Knox pull-up a few moments ago, who exits for the first time here in the second half, as Roberts replaces him for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Paul had been the offense from the line mostly for MVNU. He's in double figures. 7 of 9 from the line this afternoon is the point guard Jacob Paul, as he now gets to his average. Taylor down by 9. Robinson drives, was pulled down, and they call a moving screen against C.J. Pena. And the Taylor students down below us can't believe it. Neither can Taylor head coach Josh Andrews across from us. Second one on Pena. And these Taylor students are giving the referees an earful and a half right now. Taylor head coach Josh Andrews unhappy, to say the least, across from us. That's the second one on CJ. I looked up and saw Ryan exploding to the hoop and a man down. I thought it was because he dribbled the man down there. The Taylor fans still standing. The students down below us still can't believe it. Robinson almost took it away from Vipperman. White goes baseline left to Knox on the near side of the floor, who came in during the dead ball. Miranda guards him. Hubbard comes to defend. A high pass far sideline gathered in by Paul. Baseline left, Vipperman trying to shake away from Pena, out to Knox for a 3. That one's short, but no one boxes Knox out, and he goes in. He'll miss the putback layup, and the tap-in is no good by Jones as well. Nobody boxed out Knox, and he had a too easy look at the rim. Spinning is Robinson through traffic, and it's a foul on Jacob Paul. That's his third. With 1:45 to go second half, free throws are everyone's friend right now. Robinson to the line for 2. The first one for the Trojans' leading scorer is good. 17 for Ryan. Taylor down by 8. With 1:45 to go second half. And front rim, no. Can't on the rebound for Mount Vernon Nazarene. 1:40 left to go second half. Taylor applies all kinds of backcourt pressure, flung to the front court to White from Knox. 94 seconds left. Taylor down by 8. And MVNU will just dribble time away here. Hubbard goes out to try to defend Paul. 10 seconds to shoot. White on the near side arc, picks up the dribble. Degenkolb hounds, bouncing down to Jones, runs right over Robinson. That's an easy charge call. Robinson saw Jones coming from the top of the key. That's the 5th one on Austin Jones, and he fouls out for the 3rd time this season. And so Jeremiah Roberts, who comes in with 4 personals, will take Austin Jones' spot on the floor. He's been good today. 13 points has Jones with 5 rebounds on 5 of 8 shooting. Hubbard, Degenkolb, Pena, Robinson, and Miranda, the Taylor 5. Alex Johnson makes his first appearance in a long while here in the second half to replace Knox. It's White, Paul, Roberts, Vipperman, and the aforementioned Johnson, who shakes out his left hand. 1:17 left to go second half. Taylor with the ball, down 8. Robinson trying to get free with his right hand. Now back to left, deep 3, stepping away, and that one halfway down, and no. Rebound was tapped off the glass, and Vipperman hauls it in for MVNU. He's double teamed. Miranda came down on him. They didn't call a foul then, and then they call a reach-in foul on the near side. If you're going to call anything, you should have called the first one where Vincent jumped into the air and then landed on top of Vipperman. Instead, they call Hubbard for the reach-in, and now Hubbard's afternoon has come to a close. First time Jason has fouled out in his college career. With 1:04 left, a couple free throws here would really put the nail in the coffin for MVNU. And so Crow will come in for Taylor to replace Hubbard. Jason's day ends 10 points on 1 of 4 shooting, his best free throw shooting of the season, 8 of 8. He also had 5 rebounds to go with those 10 points. And now Vipperman will step to the line. First time to the line today. He had 23 points in that win over Spring Arbor on Tuesday. And now he's in double figures as he makes the first free throw here. He's got 10. He passed 1,500 career points with those 23 that he scored against SAU on Tuesday. To make it a 10-point lead. Yep, Vipperman got 11 for him, 9 here in the second half. Taylor down, 83-73 with 60 seconds left. Johnson guards Degenkolb between the circles, trying to shake free for a shot. Down the lane he goes, right-hand shot, good, and he got hammered by Alex Johnson, who puts his hands in the air, but he went for the block and missed the shot and got Degenkolb. That's his second. And Knox will come in to put Johnson down to the bench. Cincinnati, Ohio, Johnson's hometown, from Little Miami High School. And Degenkolb will go to the line for 2 free throws. His first, and the and one is good. And a timeout on the floor. Taylor down 83-76. As Degenkolb's got 16. It'll be a full timeout by Taylor. They've got 1 full timeout remaining. They are down by 7 with 54 9/10 of a second left to go here in the second half here on the Trojan Sports Network. So Taylor's going to need some magic here, down 7 with 54 9. Crow will guard the inbounds pass from Isaac White. And White can run the baseline, which he does. Bouncing it in, near side to Paul. Double team comes back to White. Miranda right there to Knox, left sideline, left-hand dribble. As Crow will defend him, double team is there. Knox back up to White. And Ryan Robinson steps in, trying to poke it away from White. And Ryan picks up his second personal. Back to the line goes Jacob Paul. Goes White, excuse me. White 3 of 3 today. He's got 12, 5 in double figures for Mount Vernon Nazarene, and that one barely got to the front rim. White with 12, 3 better than his season average of 9. And White, the junior transfer from Nova Southeastern and UMass Lowell. 6 feet, 180. That one hit really hard off the rim, clanking. 40 seconds left. Taylor down by 7. They need a 3 or a quick bucket and some hope. Degenkolb up top, dribbling, step back, free throw line contested by Vipperman, might have been blocked. Rebounded down low by Roberts with 31 seconds left. Knox on the near side, tied up with the dribble, dribbling up, and they get Degenkolb for a reach in as White collided with him. And that'll be Mason's 5th, and he is fouled out for the second time this season. So the Trojans have 2 that have fouled out. Austin Jones has fouled out for MVNU. And Keegan Owen will come in for Taylor with the Trojans down 7 with 26 seconds left here in regulation. Big story today, Jevin Knox, 27 points, 12 of 21 from the floor. He was 3 of 7 from 3, 6 rebounds and an assist. He had 15 points that first half, but they're the really big story. Taylor being outscored today by 12 behind the arc. Taylor just 3 of 21 from three-point distance. MVNU 7 of 21, well below, 8 percentage points below their season average. As White will roll in the first free throw, I should say. That three-point shooting really disappeared on Taylor today. They were 40% in the loss at Indiana Wesleyan on Wednesday, going 14. As White makes both, he's got 14 off the bench and puts Taylor down 85-76. Crow straightaway three. That one off the right side of the glass and short. Diving on the floor and sliding is Isaac White, and a timeout is called by Mount Vernon Nazarene. 13.1 left with MVNU on top, 85-76. They look to be well on their way to their 17th win of the season. Full timeout taken by Mount Vernon Nazarene here on the Trojan Sports Network. Seconds left. Some folks heading to the exits. Snow's been falling all afternoon, or all day, I should say. Started at 5 a.m. and it won't stop till tonight. Nazarene ball up by 9, 13 seconds left. White can't run on the timeline, and he calls another timeout. That leaves one full timeout left. Taylor with one timeout as well. And we'll take it with them. 85-76, the lead for number 5, Mount Vernon Nazarene. They look to pick up their 7th win on the road this year and give Taylor their 4th home loss here on the Trojan Sports Network. One more, both teams with 13 1/10 of a second left to go in the fourth quarter, or second half, excuse me. White looking to get it in. Crow, Pogo sticking up and down in front. They bounce it into Paul in the backcourt. Owen and Miranda trying to tie him up. Back tap, but Paul got it. He knifes the way through, and he'll dribble to the front court with 6 seconds left, and he'll dribble the time away. Big win today for Mount Vernon Nazarene as they get back on the winning side of things after falling in double overtime to number 8 Spring Arbor. They win today by a final of 85-76 to give Taylor their 2nd straight loss. We'll come back to wrap this one up and look ahead to the week ahead for Taylor men's basketball here on the Ivanhoe's postgame show coming up momentarily. This is Taylor men's basketball here on the Trojan Sports Network. We're back here inside Odell Arena. Rick Johnston with you. As some kids get some time on the floor to shoot some hoops. Taylor falls today to number 5 Mount Vernon Nazarene by a final of 85-76. Taylor fell behind by 9 at the half, 42-33. The two teams played even in the second half, each team scoring 43 points apiece. We had 6 ties and 7 lead changes. Those all came in the first half. Mount Vernon Nazarene's largest lead was 19. That was early on in the second half, and Taylor had to battle back their way through most of that second half, as that 19-point lead came with 11:51 to go in regulation. Taylor's only lead of the afternoon, or their only lead was 2 points. It was at 2-0, 4-2, and 6-4. Then they regained the lead once again at 10-8. Their last lead was 12-11, and they trailed or were tied ever since that. Actually, that was the last tie of the game, I should say. Taking a quick look at our scoring rundown. Yep. Because we had 6 ties. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 ties in there, and I'm missing 2. But Taylor trailed for most of this game today. A lot of that game was due to some poor three-point shooting. The Trojans were 0 for 8 in the first half. They finished 3 of 14 in the second for 3 of 22. Mount Vernon Nazarene was 7 of 21. They outscored Taylor by 12 behind the arc, and the Trojans ended up falling today by a 9-point total. And for most of that second half, when we looked up there, you would see the differential in three-point scoring, and that was the difference on the scoreboard as well. As both teams knocked down almost the same amount of free throw attempts. Taylor 25 of 28, MVNU 20 of 27, and a lot of those free throw attempts and makes came late with the Trojans having to foul to try to get back into it. Taylor was dominated on the glass today. They were out-rebounded by 10, 40-30, including 11-5 on the offensive glass by MVNU. But ironically enough, it led to no second chance points for the visiting Cougars. So all it did, it didn't immediately lead to points, but what it did is it kept Taylor off of out of an opportunity to try to cut into their deficit. Taylor shot 44% from the field, as we mentioned, just 3 of 22 from 3. They were 89% from the free throw line today. For Mount Vernon Nazarene, they shot 52% from the field in the first half. They finished the game shooting 48%. They were 33% from behind the arc, going 7 of 21, which is below their season average of 42%. And they were 74% from the line, going 20 of 27. They had 5 in double figures. 4 of their 5 starters got to double digits, and Jevin Knox led the way. He had 27 points on 12 of 21 shooting. He was 3 of 7 from behind the arc. So that means he was 10 of 14 from two-point range. He had 15 points in the first half, as Taylor really struggled to try to slow him down. Knox was 15 points and 7 of 11 at halftime. He also had 6 rebounds, the majority of those coming in the second half, and he did a good job playing with 3 personal fouls for a good portion of that second half as well. 14 points for Isaac White off the bench for MVNU. That is 5 points higher than his season average of 9. He was 3 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 6 from 3, and 5 of 7 from the stripe. Austin Jones had 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting before fouling out. He also had 5 rebounds. Brett Vipperman had 11. The Trojans did a good job to limit him today, held him 5 points below his season average. But Isaac White picked up the slack, scoring 5 points above his season average. Jacob Hall had 10 points, 8 of those coming from the line where he was 8 of 10. Jeremiah Roberts, 6 points and 11 rebounds today for MVNU. The 11 boards are a new career high for the senior from Toledo. Alex Johnson played but did not score, also did not attempt a shot. And Jordy Mas, the 5th-year senior from Barcelona, Spain, had 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting. He also had 4 rebounds. The Trojans had 4 players in double figures, led by leading scorer Ryan Robinson, 17. He was 6 of 16 from the floor, just 1 of 8 from 3. He was 4 of 5 from the line. Mason Degenkolb had 16 points. He was 4 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 4 behind the arc, and 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Jason Hubbard and Jake Hagelin each had 10. Hubbard's 10 points comes after back-to-back games of 4 and 3 points, respectively, and Hagelin chipped in 10. He had 8 at halftime. And Jason had 8 in the second half. Hagelin 5 of 7 from the floor for those 10 points. Off the bench, scoring was good today for Taylor. C.J. Pena with 9, coming off that career-high 14 in the loss to Iowa on Wednesday. Vincent Miranda and Evan Crow each had 6. Vincent knocking down a corner 3. He was 1 of 3 from behind the arc. Keegan Owen came in late and played but did not attempt a shot in his 25 seconds on the floor. And James McLeod, who's dealing with a lower body injury, he played 21 minutes today. That is 2 minutes below his season average. So his minutes weren't curtailed massively. And it's good to see James get back out there after what looked to be a potential serious, not a serious lower body injury, but one that might have left him out for a little bit of time after he was limited in practice this week. So good to see James back out there. And we'll hope he'll be ready to go when Taylor gets back on the floor on Tuesday. We mentioned the rebounding numbers. Taylor out-rebounded by 10, 40-30, and 11-5 on the offensive glass. But again, that offensive glass, more of kind of an extra defender today for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Taylor outscored MVNU 6-0 on second chance points. A lot of these numbers are really similar, but bench points almost even, 21-18 in favor of Taylor. Points in the paint, 38-34 in favor of TU. Points off the turnover, 5-2 in favor of Taylor, and fast break points, 5-2 in favor of Taylor as well. But the two storylines today, Knox, 27 points on 12 of 21 shooting, including 15 in the first half to help build up that 9-point first half lead for MVNU. And Taylor could not find their stroke today from three-point range. They missed their first 8 threes of the afternoon and finished 3 of 22 from behind the arc. We'll take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk with the head coach of the Trojans, Josh Andrews, after this brief pause. Back here on the Ivanhoe's postgame show, now joined by the head coach of the Trojans, Josh Andrews. Obviously a tough one for your guys to take coming off of that really gritty performance on Wednesday. I guess my two questions off the bat, what let Knox get going so well in the first half, and why'd you guys struggle from three throughout the day?
You know what, interesting you said that. We had a really gritty performance Tuesday. That wasn't gritty tonight. I'll always credit the opponent when that's the case. I think they took some life out of us. I take some ownership. I don't know that I had the guy or where I'd like him to be for that game. It's a big-time team, big-time matchup. I thought they were really well prepared. They blanketed us at the three-point line. We forced some shots there, got frustrated that we didn't have the three ball available. And then we had a hard time guarding Knox. We adjusted as the game went on, but he got going. Thought they ran good action for him, and I thought we helped facilitate him having some availability there. And when a great player like that gets going, he's hard to stop.
You guys cut it to 7 there in the second half with still plenty of time left. And even though you fell behind by 19, there were still 12 minutes left to go in the second half when you fell behind by that 19-point margin. Your team could have easily packed it up and said, you know, we can't throw it in the ocean from a boat from 3 today. Knox is doing it pretty much whatever he wants at times. What'd you like about their fight late to at least give themselves a chance that they could have maybe knocked down 1 or 2 more shots in the last couple minutes and get a stop here or there?
Yeah, we've done that multiple times this year, and I don't know why we continue to have to learn the same lesson. There's a level of grit and toughness that we've got to bring from the onset, and every night, and at times that's hard to get to the level that we think it needs to be to start a game. I mean, credit their athleticism and their size and their experience. They're a very good team, so some of that exposed us that way, but it's a little too little too late, and we needed to play better basketball in the first half tonight. They just weren't gonna relinquish that lead.
Bench scored 21 points. CJ had 9 points. He also had 6 rebounds. Free throw shooting was phenomenal today. You would go 25 of 28. Is that maybe one of the bright spots that, you know, three-point shot wasn't going, but you guys were getting to the rim? You know, you and I talked before. You guys averaged over 20 free throws a year ago. You take almost 30 tonight. Was that a good way for them to adjust, to maybe try to drive to the hoop, to try to find points any way possible when the three-point shot wasn't going?
Yeah, no, we got aggressive. You know, it might have been a little passive early in those driving lanes, so it would have been good to get some more of that early in the game, but you know, we had to take what the game was giving us, what the defense was giving us. They were switching, giving us chances to attack, try to get downhill. Probably needed to make some better plays out of that, but it did get us to the free throw line. It's good to shoot some free throws in, but just a tough one. Not the outcome we were looking for, and thought we had what it took to protect our home floor even against a team of that magnitude. And credit Mount Vernon and Coach Ronay, they got it done.
You go on the road for 2 next week at Bethel. That'll be the last time you see them during the regular season. That's on Tuesday. Then you're at Grace on Saturday before coming back here to take on number 13 Marion a week from Tuesday on January 22nd. You're at Mount Vernon for the second game of the regular season set on February 9th. Josh, thanks for the time, and good luck on the 2 road games next week.
Thanks, Rick. We appreciate it.
That's Josh Andrews, the head coach of the Trojans, joining us here on the Ivanhoe's postgame show. As we mentioned, Taylor has dropped 2 in a row. They won 6 in a row before that, coming off of that 2-point loss here on Silent Night against Grace Christian. They beat Goshen, Lincoln Christian, East West, Kentucky Christian, Judson, and St. Francis before falling to Indiana Wesleyan Tuesday and Mount Vernon Nazarene today. As we mentioned, the Trojans are at number 16 Bethel on Tuesday. They're at Grace a week from today on Saturday the 19th. And they're back here at home to take on Marion, the 13th ranked team in the land, on Tuesday, January 22nd. Special thanks to our crew today for working through some technical issues. We thank you folks for tuning in today as well. Taylor falls to 10-10 here in the 2018-19 season, and they're now 4-4 in the Crossroads League. They came into the day in a 5-way tie for third, so we'll see where everything else shakes out as the day progresses and games wrap up here in the next few moments to see where Taylor will end up in the league standings in that log jam right there after the top couple of teams kind of starting to separate themselves by a game or two. There's a whole log jam of folks that are still in the running to host a first-round game in the Crossroads League tournament at the end of the regular season. Once again, our final score today, number 5, Mount Vernon Nazarene beats Taylor by 9, 85-67, snapping 6 wins in the last 7 times inside Odell Arena for the Taylor Trojans against MVNU. We're back to talk to you about Taylor men's basketball on January 22nd when the Marion Knights come to town. We'll talk to you then. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you're where the snow is, stay inside where it's warm, grab some hot chocolate. Hopefully you already shoveled your driveway. If you haven't, probably want to go out and do that because there's more snow coming. This has been a presentation of Taylor men's basketball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Good night from Upland, Indiana.